everybody, and welcome to the SOE Webcast. Today we are having a heart-to-heart with the Star Wars Galaxies development team. I am Zatoja, also known as Lydia Pope, Community Relations Manager for Star Wars Galaxies. I'm here in our San Diego office. The office is decorated for the occasion. We have a really cool banner over here. No, you can't have it. It's signed, Forcibly Yours. And it says Dad Vader, and it was signed by Mark Hamill. It's pretty cool, huh? No, you can't have it. He signed it for a promotional event. We thought it would be kind of cool to put that on the screen today. Also, behind me, you'll see our Austin studio, where we have our Star Wars Galaxies producer, Tony T. Tyson. Raise your hand.
Hello.
There you go. And I'm going to mess his name up, so it's going to happen. We have Mikhail Hajal, which I always say it as, Jensen, and he is one of our game designers. And thank you guys for joining us today.
Sure.
So I think it's going to be important just to start it off with what's going on in the game right now. So what's going on in the game?
All right. Well, right now in the game is the Ewok Festival of Love. And unfortunately, we couldn't have Devs come with us. He worked a lot on that event, but he wasn't able to make the video.
Tell the truth, he's over there playing in the double experience, isn't he? He's over there. He's over there playing, isn't he? Because of the bonus XP weekend. That's the story I heard.
You can't get away to come to the video. But a couple cool things to mention. He was the one who came up with the idea for the Festival of Love furniture. And we worked with our art team to come up with those pieces, the armoire, bed, the pillows. We also went in there and we took some of the last year's stuff and we made it customizable. We put in a new painting, and I recently had the art team update it so it was the right resolution and it looks really great. If you haven't checked it out, any of this stuff, you guys should go and check it out. We also fixed an issue with the stuff disappearing. That was unfortunate, but we got that fixed out pretty quick.
That made me a hero in the forums, by the way, that being fixed. So I appreciate it being fixed.
We got that out really quick. The other thing is, as we mentioned before, what's going on right now is the bonus everything weekend.
Woohoo!
Woo! And by everything, we mean everything. And this weekend is unique because we added 3 more bonuses to it. We added the Restus commendations, our bonus. There's a bonus for that. We added RLS, and we added a fishing bonus that prevents you from catching or increases your chance of catching real fish. So, based on player feedback, we try to add more things as we think of them, because there's obviously a lot of things you can do in our game.
Awesome. Well, with the Ewok Festival of Love, we have plenty of the screenshots on the website, so if anybody out there hasn't participated in it, you can see some of the new stuff on the website. So that's great, and I'm going to be playing this weekend, so thank you for the bonus XP, by the way.
Right.
So let's go into what do you guys have coming up next?
Well, the next thing coming up will be the entertainer update. I'm going to be starting to communicate with the players beginning next week regarding the specific changes we'll be working on. We've already done some work based on the different feedback threads on the entertainer forum, and I can tell this is going to be the first professional update where it won't just be me working on the update. One of our apprentice designers, Newmush, will be helping out by doing some improvements to the combat, while I'll be focusing on non-combat aspects of the entertainer profession. So it's important for us that we touch upon several of the different aspects of the entertainer profession. It's a profession that is unique in that it's a social profession. It has elements of combat, it has elements of buffing, but it also has elements that are less tangible. The whole entertainment system is unique in that it doesn't really have that many stats and numbers you can tweak, but it's obviously a very important part of the game for a lot of our players. So trying to work on that is going to be a unique challenge. So,
When do you expect that? Do you have a time frame of when you expect that to go in?
Say that again?
Do you have a time frame on when you expect that to go in?
It's probably going to be roughly the same time frame as the other updates, so 2 to 3 weeks of work and some time in test center.
Yeah, he'll start talking to the senator next week, so possibly by the end of next week you could start to see some entertainer changes going out to public test.
Awesome. So if any entertainers out there have any feedback, make sure you get that feedback to the senators so they can work with them on it.
Yes.
So what else do you got coming up?
Well, we've already started the early work on the GCW2 update. We're working on creating high-level design documents. We are currently looking at splitting it up in several subparts, much in the same way as we did with Bridges of Dathomir. The first part is going to be centered around space and space combat. It's going to involve a convoy system that will allow the different factions from either protecting or attacking resupply convoys to the different planets involved in the GCW. The faction's ability to either destroy or protect those convoys will then affect the overall standing of the war, both in that planet and the galaxy as a whole. In addition to that, we're looking into making a new system that would allow NPC aces to show up, giving you a chance to face off against some of the Star Wars lore's more famous pilots. Taking down some of the famous pilots you've seen in the movies or read about in the books would then open up unique rewards for standings or titles or recognition of different forms. Of course, all depending on how it goes, you might also open that up to player versus player aces. So if you kill a whole lot of your friends, then you might get a unique title.
Ooh. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, a lot of that, just to mention something really quick, this is also early in designs, and the plan is to get your feedback, players' feedback on all of these features, but we want to have a starting point to go off of.
Yeah, one of the things we want to do somewhat differently with the GCW2 update is that once we've completed some of these high-level design documents, we're going to be posting them on first on the private Senate forum to get feedback from the senators, and then later on post them in the public forums, so players will actually be able to start providing feedback at a relatively early stage compared to how we've normally been doing updates. The idea is that we want to actually hear players' ideas before we're too set in stone to really make major changes to some of these systems.
Well, that's awesome. So you're going to give the senators a chance to say, I don't think you should do that. Is that what you're looking forward to doing?
Well, I would much rather hear what they think we should do instead, or
okay.
telling us that they don't like it doesn't help us much.
Well, I know.
But yeah, in principle.
Well, that sounds great. I think that they're going to appreciate the way we're changing the Senate, giving them that opportunity to give you feedback, like you say, before it's too late to make changes. So I think that's going to be great. And again, it's going to be important for the community to get their feedback to the senators, because a lot of times people think just because you're not answering their post isn't being seen. By them giving that feedback to the senators, the development team is in constant communication with the Senate, and they're going to be even more so in the coming months. So get your feedback to the senators on it.
That's true, but to extend on that a bit, I think it's important for us sometimes to mention that while we don't often post on the forums, we do read a lot of the forums. There's no post on the private Senate forum that I don't read, or the public Senate forum. There's no post on the professional forums that I'm working with or have worked with recently that I don't read. I read them all, and I know T-Squared is spending a similar amount of time on the update threads, the general discussion threads, the professional forums, the Galaxy forums. We do read a lot. It's just as soon as we start posting, it starts becoming very time-consuming. And every hour I spend posting on the forums is an hour that I'm not spending on improving a profession or adding a new quest or fixing a bug. It's a balancing act, and it's hard to hit the perfect balance, but we do try our best.
Yeah, and to add to that, there's several times when we'll pull a forum forum discussion thread or PM into a private discussion email thread amongst the development team. So that's kind of the way that we highlight certain things in the forums that we want to draw everybody's attention to, and then we want to have discussions about that internally to see what we can do to solve those problems that you guys are bringing up or those requests.
Right. So I think the players have they really appreciate the producer note you do every month, and that just kind of lets you always add in things that come up throughout the forums. So I think that's something that's evidence that you guys are listening to what they're saying, because you're putting it in your notes saying, hey, we decided to change this because we heard your feedback. So that's the way the communication should work. Like you say, you don't want to spend like all your day on the forums. So I appreciate that you do read the forums. So when I bug you about something, you can give me the answer. Okay, well, now that we've covered those, let's switch to, speaking of the forums, I have several questions that were asked on the forums that players have wanted to know. Hopefully you guys will be able to give the answers to these. The first question is, what can you tell us about any future plans of dealing with server populations?
Regarding that, we'll have more information in the near future that we can talk about regarding the population situation. We are aware of the players' feelings of things, and we are looking at how to solve it.
Okay, great. Yeah, I know there's a few forum posts on there, so your post, don't think just because you're posting to a forum post that has a lot of posts in there, don't think you have to create your own post. We're watching the main posts that are on there, so if you have feedback, go ahead and put it in that main post. So on to other topics. We also have a question about live events. People want to know, do you have any plans for any future live events other than the normal ones we've done in the past, like Life Day, Empire Day? Do you have any plans for any other live events?
Short answer, no.
Well, the other answer is that's your question, Lydia.
I know, that's where I come into play.
I'll attend, I'll be there, send me an invite.
Yeah, that's actually, I was hoping you would say that, because I actually have plans for a lot of community events, and with those community events, I've been trying to add in live events, things that I can spawn. So I've got plans that I'm going to be sending to these guys so they can do, so I can help do the live events to come back to some of those things without it interfering too much with the development schedule. So I'm glad to hear you say that, because I love events in general. I love player events. I love the live events that the dev team does. I love the community run events that we do. So if we can merge them all together, I think that's going to, into those big events, we're going to be doing a lot with that. So I'm going to be spending a lot of time with our event senator once we get a new one on board, getting events put together. So
what we could do in that regard is try to work towards providing you with some better tools to host events.
Right.
Just to quantify my no before, we do have a lot of holiday events currently. We have the Empire Day, Ewok Love Festival, the Life Day, and I don't think right now we want to add more festival holidays, because they're already taking up a lot of our time really, and looking at the forums, looking at the feedback, people are very split on what events and holidays they like, but I think the general consensus is, okay, now we have a number of them, let's move on to something else. Let's spend the time and resources elsewhere.
Right. Okay, so let's move on to a GCW question. Somebody wants to know, do you have any plans to involve the neutrals more with the GCW?
It's a bit early to say. One thing I will say, we now got the faction helper system in game, and we definitely want to leverage that for the GCW2 update. For space specifically, there's already rules in place that allow neutral pilots to work for one side or the other. That is something we're going to continue to allow. So neutral pilots will be able to participate in one form or another. In terms of player cities, which is another part of the GCW update, we definitely do want to allow cities, neutral cities, to participate in some fashion. However, we don't know how yet. It's too early to tell, and it's something we'll need player feedback on to help figure out. So yes, we want to allow neutral players we can't say how yet.
Okay, so we can probably hear more about that as you come more along the development cycle for that.
Yes.
Okay. So next question, one of my favorite ones. Do you have any plans for adding any unique items to space? Things like unique vehicles or anything like that? Do you have any plans for any more stuff for that for players?
Unique items to space?
Yes, like adding in vehicles that are more unique, similar to what you've done with the ground, where you have special unique vehicles that you've added.
Do we want to talk about that? Well,
or is it too early to mention that?
We definitely want to add some unique stuff.
We're obviously adding stuff as part of the space component of the GW2. We're still figuring out what we're adding. It's going to depend on what resources we have available, what time we have available. Also, depending on player feedback. I know there's some shifts that players would love to see. We're revamping the frigates that was added at the last space update to fix a lot of the outstanding issues with those. We're adding new, we're going to leverage the high-level spawns that was added as part of those that update. That they've barely been seen so far, but they'll be playing a bigger role here. So there's plenty of new stuff coming. Whether or not what that new stuff will be is to be decided.
Okay. So do you have anything coming up? Do you have any status update on their rare spawn system?
The unique spawns?
Yeah, the unique spawns.
At this point, it's basically scheduled for sometime after the GCW update.
Yeah.
So we're not working on that yet.
Okay.
The general idea is to add basically boss spawns in the world, as opposed to through controlled instances. This could be, the super ancient Kibugilla, it could be Dark Jedi's, Rancors, unique special fights that would be a challenge for expert players to take down. So.
Okay. Let's see, another question was, I'll skip to this one last, because this one is a fun question. Do you have any plans of reintroducing languages to the game?
We don't have any specific plans, but I don't think we're against the idea either. I think it would be something that would be worth considering in a role-playing profession update. Role-playing is not a profession as such, but it's an aspect of the game that we eventually like to give an update in the same fashion as we're updating the professions. I think languages would be a cool feature to add back in. I'm not sure we would re-add it in the limiting sense that it was originally post-launch. Right now, in our game, everyone is basically able to talk to everyone if they choose to do so. Mm-hmm. I think it would be really cool to allow people to talk in a different language. Some people would understand it, some would not. But I think everyone should be able to understand everyone else if they want to. So if it's something we can add within as part of a role-playing update, for example, I think it would be a cool optional tool for players.
Okay. Do you have any thoughts of adding any new species?
What were we talking about? There was a customization option that we could add that we're discussing internally right now.
Yeah, I don't know. Actual new species in the sense that you can create a character with a different species and select a different species on that screen. I doubt that's going to happen, mainly because it's incredibly time-consuming and resource-consuming, not just in the appearance, but also in 5-6 years worth of code that we have to go through and make sure that every time some piece of code asks what race you are, that's handled correctly, that it could break in so many weird ways. And the last time new races were added for the JTL, the scale and scope of adding a new race this late in the game is very significant. It's not that I'm against new races, it's just when I look at what we could do in that time, I'm not sure it's the best investment of resources, to be honest.
Okay. Let's see. Do you have any plans with the Entertainer update to put in Entertainer Chronicles at the same time?
No. We'd like to do a Chronicles update, and the Entertainer Chronicles would definitely be part of that update. It's not going to be part of the Entertainer update.
Okay.
The Entertainer update is going to be specific to the Entertainer profession and the Entertainer profession skill set.
Okay, so I have to hold this one up to read this one. Somebody wrote a really long question and I couldn't figure out how to summarize it. So this one says, with the GCW and space-themed additions to the Chronicles system that may be coming this year, have the dev discussed the desire for Master Chronicles to recharge or create specific relics using fragments or having rating system default to 10?
Well, let me just say that at the moment, what we're going to do is we're going to group Chronicles improvements under something related to like a Chronicles 2 update. So when we hit GCW, we'll probably use player feedback and see, do you guys want GCW related relics added to Chronicles? And then that'll be something you guys can weigh in and say how much value is that going to hold versus other things you can have in that update. So I'm going to leave that to the player feedback.
Okay.
To directly answer the question, yes, it's something we've talked about. We're still talking about it, and the ultimate decision is going to be based in part on player feedback when we get to that update.
Okay. Next question is, where is it? I lost it. Oh, okay. Are there any plans to update the battlefield with the GCW update?
Not currently, no. I'm ideas, but the focus on the GCW update is going to be space and player cities. There's also going to be some focus on rebalancing the overall GCW system. One thing I know we'd like to touch on is player bases. We'd like to address the issue of base clubbing, as it's known, but at the same time, we want to allow player bases to play a significant role in the ground GCW game because bases are actually pretty cool. Battlefields, currently we don't have any plans for it. It doesn't mean that it couldn't happen, but it's not currently part of the plans.
Okay. Let's see. What about, do you have any plans for race or gender respecs?
We have actually looked into that. It's extremely involved. It's not on our list right now of things to do.
Okay. So it sounds like it's a time-consuming thing.
Yeah.
What about adding in new animations?
Well, we definitely enjoy hooking up existing animations to other systems. Like, for example, we added walk and run animation support to some of the game moods, and that was a lot of fun. In the future, we'll look to do that. As far as creating new animations, that's something that we're not planning at the moment, but if there's a particular animation that's requested, it's something we consider doing.
So if your community manager came to you and asked you for a specific animation, you might consider it.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like that. I'm going to write that one down. Let's see. The next question is: GCW points are GCW points treated the same under AFK combat policy as standard experience points?
No, and I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
The reason is that there's some systems behind the scenes that we don't want to give out the details on because a lot of people will then try to circumvent those systems.
Right. Let's see. Are anything being done? Is anything planned to be done for inactive cities?
This falls under the category like the prior question about population and things like that. We're looking at these situations. Could we do another like house pack-up type event in the future? That's not out of the realm of possibility. So it's just something that we don't have planned at the moment, but it's something that we could consider doing in the future.
All right. Let's see. There's not very many more questions here. Let's see. Are there any plans to increase the non-TCG craftable buildings?
I missed that. Comfortable.
Are we adding new houses?
Well, there's those two structures we're going to be adding to the game that we have discovered, and at the moment we're not planning them. But again, you know, if there's something in the realm of GCW2 when we do the player side of the thing, if there's some structure that we could possibly do, I mean, it's something that we can consider.
Yeah, we'd love to add more structures. Right now, we don't have any specific plans, I think, but sure.
Alrighty. Joel, how are we doing on time? Joel Sasaki is behind the scenes here. He's pointing at me, so I'm trying to figure out how we're doing on time. Alrighty, sounds like we're almost ready to wrap it up here. So before we do, I wanted to check with you guys on one of the things that the players were asking about, and you mentioned it a little bit earlier, Tony, but when we do our community parties, how you change people into things. Is that something that we can actually, you can give me the ability to do, to change people into things? I'll put you on the spot on that one. Is that something that I can do?
Well, do you need to be able to change them back again?
Yeah, I don't know.
So that's the kind of stuff we do on the public test servers,
Okay.
Because, you know, we don't
So as
know
long
if
as
it's one of those systems. We don't actually change appearances of other players. You can change appearance of yourself. You can resize other players.
Okay.
That works. But we do have the costume system right now, and so, you know, we've given players lots of appearances that they can access at the moment. So, I mean, I'm sure you can have fun with the existing stuff.
Right.
So I think that begs the question, just who is it that you want to turn into something
Right.
else?
Oh, look
and
at you.
just, of course, so
There's a lot of people that I'd like to change into things, actually. Well, anyway, I wanted to close off by saying we have a lot of questions that we didn't have time to get answers for today. What we're going to do is we're going to collect the rest of the questions and see if we can come up with some answers for them, and we'll put them in the next producer letter. But whatever you do, don't tell T-Spirit I said that.
Okay, I heard you say that.
Joel, you said you cut the feed.
Okay. I'll tell you what, if they don't make the producer note, we'll do a weekly feature on it.
Ooh, I like that. That's even better. Alrighty. Okay, well, thank you guys for joining us today, and we hope to see you next time. I'll see you guys later, too. I don't get to see you on the screen that often.
All right, we'll get out of this box.
Get out of the box. Alrighty, thank you guys. Bye.
Bye.